Hi guys, in this lesson we are going to learn the string operators, their use with variables, basically all the necessary information about string use. Let's open our git bash command prompt that which is installed in the previous lesson. Open it. But before going to the local server, I want to mention here that sometimes you might have an error. This kind of error could not for child process and there are no available terminals. This is usually happening when you are shutting down or closing your local server by clicking on this X button after running the Jupyter Notebook here. Let's see, I will run the Jupyter Notebook. And here you could see that Stack Overflow suggests some solutions. You could just look around and type or run some commands here, or close your git bash exe, or you can go to the Control Shift Escape button from Task Manager. You can close some git for Windows commands. But before going to and searching all these solutions, I just want to shortly explain or tell you that before shutting, after running this Jupyter Notebook server, don't ever close it like this one. In that case, it will close it, and after running this git bash again, it will print out that error. Before closing it, just type in Ctrl and C, not S, C, and close it first, and after that you can just click on X and close it again. Don't ever, after running the Jupyter Notebook, immediately close with this X button here. And right now we could type in Jupyter Notebook again and click enter, because this one will not work. This one is already killed. It will not work. You can see this site can't be reached. We just click in it and it will open or create another tab with these folders, with default folders. Just they mention here that before closing, if you want to close the git bash, first type in Ctrl C, and after that you can close your git bash if it's needed. So let's go to our lessons here. This is our Python folder, this is our lessons, and we have already covered expressions and variables. And in this lesson we are going to cover string operators and strings, how they are used. First, let's create a new text file or Python file here and call them strings. It sometimes might take a bit long because my internet connection might be a bit weak. That's why just be patient. And here type in strings. It will create strings IPNB file here. Let's add a couple of lines and zoom it a bit, 125, to make it better visible for you. Okay, let's explain strings in variable and strings and how they are used in Python. Strings in Python are surrounded with single or multiple quotes. We already know that this could be like this one. These are multiple or double quotes or single quotes like this one. Always I suggest you to use the double quotes here. For example, hello world. Click Alt Enter or this run button. It will print out the result of this. But always try to, while printing out the string value, always use the print function, and inside of print function just type in your sentence here, hello world here. You can see that string could be a word, or it could be a character, it could be a combination of spaces and digits inside of your quotes here, or inside of your quotes, like this one. For example, let's create a variable x. Inside of x we will just type in double quote, and here we will type in 4 1 2 5 4 5 Steve, for example. In string type, in strings, you have a position for each character starting from 0. The first one is always 0. And to access the elements of the string, we will use these square brackets here, and from this square bracket it will count the positions of these items or these characters. Let's say that we want to count we want to print out the position of these characters or these numbers separately. First, what we are going to print out, let's say that we want to print, we have a bit longer sentence here. Let's type in, if I type here x3 or 4 first, let's see if it would work. No, nip is not defined. Why? Because I haven't run this command. First run this one, and after that run the third. It will print out the space here. Why? Because it starts to count from this one: 0, first, second, and third. The first one corresponds to this item here, and this item here is the blank space. Let's just explain it with more complex sentence. Let's see that I have a sentence like we have a house in the city, for example, right? And give a variable. Just type in a variable a. That's not a good practice to write the one character, one letter. Always try to use a bit complex or normal variable name, such as data. This looks good. This is our data here, and you are assigning your value to this variable data, and run it. And if we run it, it just assigns this value to this variable here. And now I want to print out, let's see, I want to print out the first character of this. To print out the first character, I will type in the variable name here and the position name, first or 0. Let's type in first. It will print out E. This one holds the first position, while W holds the 0 position here. It starts from 0, and the first positions correspond to this item here. If I want to print out from 0 to 5 or 6, I will type in kind of a slicing. There is a slicing, typing 0, 2 dots here, and let's see 6. It will print out 6 characters starting from 0. If we count 0, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and it will not include the 6th, it will print out all the characters between these numbers here. This is called slicing. But if I want to print out all the items after 0 or after 2, let's say after 3, I will type in 3 and 2 dots here and click Alt Enter. You could see that after word, it will print out all these characters, all the strings here. This is called colon. Sometimes I have a spelling error called dot, 2 dots. It calls colon, yes, not semicolon. Semicolon is like this one, but this is, I think, called colon. And now if I want to print out all the characters before 9 or before 9, all the characters before 9 elements, and click enter, it will print out all the characters up to 9th element here. We could also multiply or divide this like this data and make some calculation even for a string function. If we have a data and I want to multiply this data to 3, let's see if it will print out. You could see that it will print out the result 3 times here, and this is just in case you will need it sometimes. We also have a step slicing, like let's say that we have a data such as this data t character number, character number, character number, like this one, and I want to print out, just run it. It hasn't it has given me an error because I have combined numbers with characters. If I entail them with quotes, it will take this function here. And now I just want to give a step size here and print out all these numbers here. I know that there is one step after the character, or even two. I just want to print them correspondingly here. How should I do this? I will have to type in T square brackets here, and after 1 I will type in 2 columns and 2 characters. Let's see what will it print out. You will see it will skip the first character, and after that it will print out each item after second space, after second element here, and it will print out like this one. If I type in 3, it will print it differently, like after first it will count the third, and it will just repeat to get all these elements with 3 step after 3 step, like this one. We also have a negative indexing here, like this one. If we know that we could let's here add a couple of lines. We have a sentence here, and we already know that we could extract the data between a certain position, like from 0 to 5. We already know this. Extract it, you could see, or 15, let's see. We have a house, you could see that it has extracted all these elements here. We could even do this with the negative indexing. Like negative indexing are counted vice versa. If it's counting from this side, negative counting from this side here. If I put in here minus 15, and here instead of, let's type in minus 15, and here I will type in 1, what will it print? Minus 1, and click run. You can see from this one, from minus 1, it will print all these elements up to this point. It will count it in a vice versa here. This is also very useful to know. Sometimes you will need it to use it, not from the front, but from the back side. You will need to count the strings, values, or characters here. In that case, you will need the negative indexing to